All right, now for the last of the 3 videos of Glorious. There might be more in the future if I happen to continue reviewing mice for whatever reason. Again, let me know if you want me to continue reviewing mice, but this time we got the Model O compared against the Model D. Now, these are not a one-to-one. This is the regular Model O glossy finish, and this is the Model D matte finish. And the reason I went with 2 different finishes as opposed to reviewing both of the same kind is because I wanted as much variety as possible so that I can personally tell you from my experience which of the two is the better choice for you. Now, as far as what I can tell, let's begin with the build quality of the two. I'm going to have my reviews of both the Model O and the Model D down below or somewhere in the comment section, not in the comment section, the description. You can go ahead and take a look at those individually and then come back to this and do the head-to-head like I'm about to do. Anyways, as far as build quality goes, good God, the Model D is the winner right here. I mean, you can just tell that this is the successor to this. It's not meant to be, but what I'm saying is you can tell that the Model O was designed and manufactured before the Model D came into fruition because it feels so much better. It feels like an improvement. It doesn't feel like pick either or. It feels like this is part 2. This is part 1, this is part 2. It's just that much of a difference. Now, matte finish for both is $50, and the glossy finish is $60. I will go over at the end at the overall, like, do I feel like it's worth the price? But essentially speaking, go for matte. Forget glossy, just go for matte. Now, I felt like glossy had a slightly better grip, but it also got far dirtier and just looked cheap overall. And that's the experience I got with the Model O. The clicks are not as tactile. They're more spongy. They're more like closer to a Razer mouse as opposed to, I don't know, let's say like a SteelSeries mouse. Now, I like SteelSeries, not my favorite mice, but I can tell you that SteelSeries has quality mice. And this is what the same impression that I'm getting here. It's like Razer versus SteelSeries. It's that much of a difference where you can clearly feel that one has the better functionality over the other. Button placement. So the button placement right here is actually taller than on the Model O, which for my experience, well, I'll get to that in a bit actually. What else do I have left to review as far as the build goes? DPI switches, they both offer that. This DPI switch is larger, but not like easy to press accidentally, so you don't have to worry about that. But it is larger and easier to press. The scroll wheel on the Model D has less tension, but not in a bad way. It's just more about what you prefer. Model O offers more tension, a little more sturdiness, which in my opinion I actually like over the Model D. But the Model D still has plenty of tension left so that you don't accidentally scroll while pressing down on mouse 3. If I'm not mistaken, that's what the scroll wheel click is called. What else? Now let's go into the features right here. Just an FYI, the box. They're essentially the same box, same contents and everything, except the fact that the Model D offers additional G skates that go right here. They're additional skates, not replacement skates. And in my opinion, you don't need them. You really don't need them. Both offer a DPI indicator as well. Both skates feel very comfortable, very smooth, no issues with them whatsoever. And I really can't complain. Now, as far as the features go, they both feature RGB, but there's a very clear difference in quality. The RGB on the Model D is much brighter, shows off greater, and is simply better than the Model O. Now, I don't know if I happen to receive a defective unit, but you know what? Why don't I just show you? Why don't I just turn off the lights here and show you myself? Let's turn off the lights in here. Here you will very clearly see that the Model D is much brighter, much more apparent, And just, it looks better than the Model O. There's no comparison here. It's just better overall. And to think I paid $10 less for the Model D. Now, another thing to point out, if we put this to the side right there, I'm gonna put the boxes to the side. If we see the Model D separate on its own, we see that the RGB splashes out onto the table, but no issues whatsoever. It's very uniform, very aesthetically pleasing. Now with the Model O on the table, it's not so much. Everything's just darker, and you have this beam of light here, just a stray beam of light for no reason on the table. I can't imagine why. Well, I can't imagine why, but the point is, like I said, you can clearly tell that the Model O came before the Model D, and that just, it annoys me. It really annoys me. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the lights again to continue the rest of this. So, what else do I have to say regarding the build? Note time. So it does stand out. As far as the features go, when I was using the Model D offered I immediately set the debounce time on this from 10 milliseconds to 6 milliseconds, just because a reviewer recommended it, and I had no issues using it whatsoever. Model O, on the flip side, I completely forgot to adjust that setting, and every now and then, especially when surfing the web, I would experience unregistered clicks on mouse 1 and 2 for some reason. And then I went into the settings just to see what could be wrong, and I found that the debounce time was set to 10 milliseconds. So I went ahead and adjusted that to 6 milliseconds, and voila, no issues. No more issues. Fantastic. So if you do get either one of these mice, make sure you adjust them to 6 milliseconds just to make sure that there's no issues with it whatsoever. Now, what's the next step? Really, that's all I have to say about the two. They both have the additional software that you can use for them. They both come in Rainbow Wave Effect. They both offer the DPI setting of 400, 800, 1600, and 3200 stock out of the box, but the RGB software, or rather the additional software that you can download from Glorious' website, offer the exact same thing for either mouse. So there's no extra here versus there or whatever. You can adjust it to whatever the heck you want, and that works out for you. Now, ultimately, what can I say about these two? Which one do I prefer? That's a tough one. That's a really tough one, because here's the thing. As far as my hand goes, I found it very, very comfortable, the Model D over the Model O, because it's ergonomic and it's very comfortable. But where my thumb lands is way too far away from the buttons. And if I try to use it like this instead, then what I end up getting is a slanted grip on the mouse that actually makes me really miss shots and stuff like that. So it grinds my gears. On the flip side, the Model O is an ambidextrous shape, and it does feature that, that digging effect from the nail right here. Again, sorry for the dirty nail, but that digging effect does occur, but it's not painful at all. It's not a big issue, but it's just not as ergonomic, obviously, as an ergo mouse. Here on the side buttons, it's much easier to push them, albeit they are smaller. So you're trading off the size of the buttons for easier access. Obviously, easier access over size. So, man, here's the thing. I highly recommend the Model D matte white finish if you don't need immediate access to these buttons. If you can go ahead and just not grip your mouse, but just have it hold your mouse and then hold the mouse and then just move your finger up like that, then I recommend the Model D. And if you don't, then I recommend the Model O. Do not get glossy, go for matte, because the matte is going to give you what you want here. It's going to give you better access to the sides, much easier, and that's really it. That's all I have to say. Now, between the two, man, if I had to pick one, Unfortunately, it'd be the Model O, but both of these present issues to me that I just cannot get over, that they grind my gears. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is just probably getting rid of both, and I'm going to be trying the Cooler Master MH711 and comparing that to whichever of these two I ended up not getting rid of. Oh, and just as a reference, my hand is a 19 by 9.5 centimeters across. I use palm hybrid grip, and my previous mouse was the Logitech G403. It might have been the Prodigy, I don't remember. But point is, great mouse until the scroll wheel broke. So, and that is like my absolute favorite shape. But now that I've used these, it's a little too heavy for me. Anyway, that's really going to wrap it up for this comparison. It was just a simple comparison between the two, and I figured since I'm already doing my research and I'm already looking for a new mouse, I may as well let you know my findings and throw in my 2 cents about what these mice have to offer and which one I personally preferred. So I hope this was helpful for you. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe down below. You know what to do. Let me know if you want to see any more gaming mice videos, or if you don't want to see any of these anymore. It's really up to you. Let me know what you think about the headband method that I've been using thus far. Have the shots been really like out of the picture? If they have been, I'm sorry. I'm still trying to get used to not seeing the screen for myself. So I'm just going to wrap it up there. Both are great mice, one better than the other. Take your pick. Really, just pick your poison. Anyways, I hope this helps, and see you in the next one.